After coming off the biggest win since Super Bowl 50, the Denver Broncos are asking the question now, are we actually Super Bowl contenders or are we just pretenders? So I wanted to talk about that in today's episode.
Touchdown, Denver!
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Strez here, aka everyone's favorite Kansas City-based Broncos fan. And yes, I know I'm decked out in my Ohio State gear. Just relax. It's been a good weekend for Ohio State Buckeyes fans. We just destroyed the Minnesota Golden Gophers on Saturday night. And then all of our receivers that are currently in the NFL looked really, really good. And also, so did Jonathan Cooper. So shout out the boy. This video, I wanted to talk about whether or not the Denver Broncos are actually contenders for this Super Bowl because everything's kind of pointing in that direction. But before we get into breaking that down a little bit, I wanted to let you know that if this is your first time watching one of these videos, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Maybe drop a like as well. It does help the algorithm, helps this reach more Broncos fans and just football fans in general. Maybe you're not a Broncos fan, but you are just curious about what Broncos fans are saying about their team after they just beat the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. Click subscribe, drop a like. I would really appreciate that. But yeah, let's jump right into this. Are the Denver Broncos actually contenders for Super Bowl 60? Yes, 60. Here's the thing. I'll start this out the way that I started things out at the beginning of the football season this year. The last time the Denver Broncos won a Super Bowl was Super Bowl 50. The college football national championship that took place before that Super Bowl was the first ever 4-team college football playoff national championship. The Ohio State Buckeyes won that one. It was a great day for your boy. I had a really good year sports-wise that year. I was living it up in the early 2010s. Not going to lie. But fast forward to 2025. Super Bowl 60 is at the end of this season, so it's a decade between those two Super Bowls. But the first ever 12-team college football playoff just ended on January 20th, with the Ohio State Buckeyes winning it. So, if history is to repeat itself, it would make some sense. Yeah? No? I don't know. There's also pretty sure that Super Bowl 60 is taking place at the same place that Super Bowl 50 took place at. So there's that. There's a bunch of other weird things that have kind of played into this. I have no idea what the Major League Baseball, what the World Series looked like that year. I don't care enough about baseball to be able to look back into that history or anything like that. But so if you're just basing it off of some of those ideas, then the Broncos are winning the Super Bowl this year. But if you're actually going to take more of a legitimate look at some of the reasons why you might be able to back or get behind the idea that the Denver Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl or they are Super Bowl contenders, I guess this conversation isn't about whether or not they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. The question is, are they actually legitimate contenders? And I would argue that after winning this last game in week 5 in Philadelphia against the Eagles, where we were down by 17-3. We were down by 14 points in the fourth quarter. Bo Nix goes on a tear, goes like 9 of 10 in the fourth quarter for 120 something yards and a touchdown, leads 3 straight scoring drives that gets the Broncos to win the game 21-17. I would say, yeah, I think that this Denver Broncos team is very much a contender. Let me break it down even more. The 2 games that the Denver Broncos lost this season are to 2 teams that are both leading their division currently, with the LA Chargers being tied for first place in the AFC West with the Denver Broncos. But of course, they have the head-to-head over us currently, so they are sitting in the driver's seat for the AFC West at the current moment. And the other loss being to the Indianapolis Colts, also leading their division right now. The AFC South has turned out to be a much better division than I thought it was going to be this year after just watching it's Monday night when I'm recording this. Jaguars just beat the Chiefs with the most ridiculous Trevor Lawrence. What was that? What did Trevor Lawrence just do? That was insane. But both of those losses were to two teams that are leading their divisions currently. And on top of that, those losses took place. Those losses happened with zeros remaining on the clock in the fourth quarter. They were both last second field goals to beat the Denver Broncos. So when you look at that, and then you look at the fact that they just had a massive win on the road, and teams have a terrible record going on the road the week before they have to go over to Europe and play a London game or a Dublin game or a Germany game or whatever. You can go look at the historical data behind that. If you have to play I'm getting tongue tied. If you have to play an away game before leaving to go across the pond, you have like pretty much almost 100% chance of losing that football game. Add on top of that the fact that we were going to play the defending Super Bowl champions after coming off of a shortened week because we just played Monday Night Football. This was a huge win for this Denver Broncos team. For Sean Payton, he just passed Bill Parcells. I'll have a video coming out later this week as well, talking about the culture shift that Sean Payton has brought to this Denver Broncos locker room. But all of those things together, this is the kind of game that can really change things for a franchise moving forward. And honestly, I think that this team has all of the makings of an actual Super Bowl contending football team. Now, it's only week 5, and there's going to be a lot more for us to see. We're going to get a lot more evidence to support whether or not they are contenders or pretenders. But I tend to lean towards them being contenders. And honestly, some of the numbers kind of speak to the fact that that actually might be the case. So when I look at things like team total offense, team total defense, how those things are working, if the team's playing complementary football, I really think like the Broncos are sitting right now after week 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are ninth in total offense. Ninth. Out of 32 teams, the Denver Broncos have the ninth most yards per game right now. They have 355.2. They're averaging 355.2 yards per game right now. 214 yards in the air and 140 yards on the ground. 214.6 and 140.6 on the ground. And then if you want to do this by points per game, I mean, they do drop off a little bit. They're the bottom half of the league in points per game, but here's why that's actually not too big of a deal. The Broncos are currently averaging 23.4 points per game. But if you go and look at this Denver Broncos defense is second in scoring defense. This defense is giving up 16.8 points per game. So if you're scoring 23.4 points a game and you're giving up 16.8 points a game, you're averaging a win. That's plain and simple. Like that's how that math works out. And then if you want to go and look at like total defense, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth in total defense right now, giving up 200 yards passing and 88 yards rushing. And that 88 number, the rushing yards per game is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth best in the NFL. And those passing yards are also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, eighth best in the NFL. And so when you put those two things together, you have the 5th best total defense and the 2nd best scoring defense in the league, coupled with having the 9th best total offense in the league, and you're averaging scoring. Ignore the thumbs up or drop a like if you are liking the content so far. But if you're averaging 23.4 points a game on offense and your defense is giving up 16.8 points a game on defense, you're averaging a win. You're averaging a win. You really are. And I don't think people realize what that looks like this year. The Denver Broncos are they are so different this year on defense. Last year the defense was good. I'm not going to discredit the 2024 Denver Broncos defense because the defense was really good. But this defense this year has been so next level, and we don't even have our best linebacker on the field right now. And Malcolm Roach has also been on the IR the entire beginning of the season. So we've been without Malcolm Roach and Dre Greenlaw, two of our energy guys. Dre Greenlaw is, when he's healthy, one of the best inside linebackers in the entire NFL. You added Talanoa Hufanga and Jade Barron they've both been playing great football this season. And right now, Nick Bonito is leading the league in sacks through 5 weeks. He just sacked Jalen Hurts 2.5 times. He tackled Jalen Hurts as a passer 3 times in that week 5 win over the Eagles. They're one of the best teams in pressure rate. They're one of the best in QB hits. They are one of the best in fact, I believe they lead the league in sacks. It's just the defense is incredible. And you couple the fact that this offense has consistently gotten better week over week, and Bo Nix is slowly getting more and more comfortable over time, and they're scoring almost 24 points a game, and they have the 9th most yards gained per game right now. There's no reason why this Denver Broncos team shouldn't be considered a contender. There's no reason. Absolutely no reason. And when you look at the Denver Broncos schedule, they're currently sitting at 3-2. And again, I mentioned those 2 losses came to the Colts and the Chargers, both leading their division. Both were last second field goals. And their next 5 opponents, the Broncos play the Jets in London, the Giants at home, the Cowboys at home. They're at the Texans, who scored a lot of points recently, but they were playing a very, very injured Ravens team. And they've got the Raiders at home and then the Chiefs at home. So going into that Chiefs game week 11, there is a very real possibility. There is a real world scenario where this Denver Broncos team is looking at an 8-2 record going into week 11. I couldn't tell you the last time that this Denver Broncos team had 8 wins in their first 10 games. I could not tell you that time. Granted, it's the Giants, the Jets, the Texans, the Raiders, but that Cowboys game is going to be fun. And I think that Houston's a lot better than people think that they are right now. So with all that said, I think that the Broncos are going to have 8 wins. They'll be 8-2 going into their week 11 matchup against the Chiefs. That game is at home. Massive opportunity for the Broncos to actually say, hey, we are for real. If they beat the Chiefs that week, they're 9-2 going into the bye. And when they come off the bye, they are at Washington, which I think is a winnable football game. That's a Sunday night football game. That's Jaden Daniels versus Bo Nix. That's going to be awesome to watch. And then after that, they go to the Raiders, and then they've got the Packers at home, the Jaguars at home, Christmas Day game at Kansas City, and then they end the season with a revenge game against the Chargers. So there's a real possibility where the Denver Broncos are able to win so many games that they land a top 4 seed. They get to have a home playoff game in the wild card round, and they're going to be playing a team that they probably have already beaten and should be able to beat again. If they haven't played them yet, should be able to beat that team. So I do think the Denver Broncos are contenders. 9th best total offense, 5th best total defense, 2nd best scoring defense. You see that thumbs up on the screen. Go ahead and drop a like if you saw that. 2nd best scoring defense, giving up 16.8 points a game, scoring 23.4 points a game. I think this Denver Broncos team is very much a contender. And I think it's time that people start talking about the Denver Broncos like they are contenders. I really do. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. Are the Broncos contenders? Are they pretenders? And if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button, drop a like on your way out, and I will catch you in the next one. Let's go Broncos.
God bless Bo Nix. Touchdown!